we heard from our in-studio guest, but in recorded form. We heard from Cheri Dahl. That track was High Heels. The Tony Jones Show continues. George Garner is my co-host. George, good evening.
Good evening.
Catching our live show, but you want to relive it again, go on iTunes and listen to this very program in podcast form. You've been playing for a little while now.
I certainly have, yes.
How have you seen it change, you know, not just live, but with the technology and everything? How have you seen that change?
It's changed in every way. It's
Exactly.
I'm like a person who was hanging out in excuse me, let's change that. It's in 1889, going, hey, this is pretty cool. Yeah, things are closing down on me. You know, things are getting newfangled and whatnot. And then all of a sudden, it's 1900, and it's 1913, and like, what the fuck is this? Excuse me. Beep. Too late. You know, driving cars. We got all kinds of ways of doing stuff that I don't like. Telephones, which I still don't like.
Yeah, I'm the same.
I mean, I've been alive for almost 200 years apparently, and no, I just, what can I say about this except it's, to me it's just everything is like nonsense. To be honest, I can barely may send an email or do Facebook and use my cell phone. I just feel like it's just not fun.
Would you agree though that the internet is a blessing more than a curse for us musicians?
I don't know. Is that what you want to really know? No, it's not. I'll tell you what was nice. It was nice to be able to play at the greatest clubs in New York City. I was lucky, I guess. I got to play at CBGB's and Tramps and Lone Star and all these freaking places that, and I didn't take it for granted, but I didn't realize how fortunate I was. I got to even sing at the Village Gate, which was an amazing jazz club, and do a lot of things that I never realized until now were really incredible things to have done, especially now when I look at New York City and see that everything has become like just a big corporate hub, and there's Starbucks on every corner. And it's people singing and getting gigs and doing what now. It's people expect you to pay to play and all kinds of ridiculous stuff. When I played at CB's, they never asked me to pay to play. I got paid. We had a door. You invited people. People actually showed up to your gigs. They didn't say, "Oh, I hope you had a good gig. I was home picking my toenails and I was on the internet doing, Christian or J date or whatever date they're doing." Yeah, so yeah, it's changed a lot because New York City was a place where you could live anywhere in town. You could live on $300 a month if you had to. And now it's not that anymore. It's that creative, beautiful thing that I grew up with, and that love of peace and hope and freakiness has just been laid to rest. And we had a really good thing where it used to be, you just went out, man. Everyone went to the disco. It didn't matter if you were queer, if you were if you were gay, if you were straight.
You are literally killing me.
Well, I'm sorry, that's me. I'm really sorry about that. That's what they taught me in those New York City schools. So anyway, you're gay, you're straight, you're this, you're that. You all went to the disco. I wore a Disco Sucks t-shirt. Can I say sucks?
Yeah.
I wore a Disco Sucks t-shirt to the disco.
Schmeckle I don't know about, but sucks is cool.
Schmeckle means penis. Can you say penis? Okay, whatever.
Yeah, I think it's a medical term. That's whatever.
Okay, so in any case, yeah, it also means moron. And we have a few meanings for each word, like the Chinese. That's why we get along so well. We love that food boy. I had some last night. I was so happy. I felt like there was no way I could have performed without having had that beef on a stick. It was just unbelievable.
Well, I'll tell you one thing.
Yes.
If you're regretting the good old days of New York...
I'm not regretting it. I'm grateful for it.
Okay, but my point is that if you think New York has declined, spend about a week to 10 days in Rhode Island.
Well,
then you will go back to New York City and you will see a
rainbow
of glory.
No, I'm already there. I've only been here for a day and a half. No disrespect to Rhode Island, but it's
I already
nice.
did.
You got a cute. No. You know what? Here's the thing. Every place has the thing about it that makes it special, and I know that Providence has its special stuff, and New York has its special stuff. New York used to have more special stuff, and now there's just Starbucks, Dwayne Reed, Disneyland, people who are 20 years old making over $200,000 a year and kicking us folks out into the woods like me, who grew up in New York City. I was born, raised there, the whole bit, and it's when it's not fun, it's time to get. And fortunately for me and many other artists, we just love to play music, and it was never about, like I said, having delusions of grandeur and being the Liberace of rock and roll or whatever the hell that means. Can I say hell?
Yeah, hell, I think
we're not the Babel Belt.
They have the FCC has cut back so much staffing that I think that they don't even have dudes to do that anymore.
Well, to the dude who's on right now, I just want to say I'm really sorry that I said the F curse, but I'm not going to say frack because that is totally gay.
Fracking.
Yeah, that's just wrong. There's just something really wrong with that.
Isn't that something you do underground or something?
Isn't that has something to do with natural gas?
I thought it was something to do with those science fiction shows on TV. They can't say.
Could be all three.
So they're like, you're so fracking tough, aren't you? And that really makes them seem really fracking tough.
That just turned my stomach.
Yeah, that's I think that's for the followers of the Fembot Nation and whatnot.
It is amazing to your earlier point, much earlier point,
Yes.
but I'm still thinking about it. Is that while you're doing something, you're just doing it, and then you look back and you say that was really cool.
Right? Yeah, sure.
It's weird how those. I don't think there's anybody who appreciates at that moment what's they're just getting through the day and doing their gig and trying to find a parking spot and trying to
Sure, but you
go home
appreciate that.
sober.
Like there were also times that we used to play together. Like we'd get like 5 or 6 bands. We're all friends. We play together. We'd stay for each other's shows. No, we don't want friends to play together and all this stuff. And they want to charge. Okay, you have to bring 200 people, or we're gonna take the thing and pull you off stage. Just ridiculous, or you owe us money, and I'm thinking, okay.
The big hook comes out like the vaudeville day.
Actually, I was gonna book book a show at a club that I'm not gonna say the name of in New York City, which thinks it's the new CBGB's, but it's not. It's really a shithole with a basement, and where you play in a basement, and it's actually a sub basement. In any event, and I was going to get the likes of Ellen Foley to open up and Ellen Foley's no joke. I mean, sure, she sang with Meatloaf. There'd be no bat out of hell without her. And she's got her following, and the club said, well, you have to bring this amount of money, and you and Ellen have to pay the sound guy. And I said, okay, well, guess what? Ellen Foley and Cheri Dahl are not going to play, so kiss our tuchus. And, so we didn't play that gig. But I'd rather play for free than be told and dictated to, by these clubs. And, frankly, they can stick it.
And now the problem is, and they get the younger kids,
they're desperate, and I'm not.
Yeah, the younger kids just want to do it, but with the pre-sale tickets, here's a certain amount of tickets you have to pre-sale.
Yeah, I won't do shit
and
like
you
that.
can play if you sell a certain amount of tickets.
No. I'm not doing it. Why should I? I've been doing it too long.
I feel bad for these kids.
I feel bad for me. Why don't they just, hire me and pay me something decent, and then I would go out of my way to make sure that the people who love me would actually show up. But, why should I go out of my way and bust my ass to, get, 100 people to come and see me when I know, number one, they're going to rip me off, because they always do. Number two, they're going to just be disrespectful to me and have me pay this and pay that and all kinds of stuff. I need my Peter Grant, man. And until I have him, I'll just have to be my own Sherry Grant. You know what I'm saying?
So speaking of people who love you, we all love you here.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
And we would like you to play another live song.
Oh.
Let me look at the clock. Yeah.
Okay.
Play
Well,
another
I'll do another abridged version of something. I'll play something that maybe you haven't heard. Or let's see here. I got my song list here that I usually don't bring with me.
Written by hand, I will.
It is.
It's not on an iPad or.
No, it's written in this
Not
little cool Chinese book that I bought down when Chinatown used to be Chinatown. Now it's Starbucks Chinatown. You go down there. And there's no there's like a few Chinese people for good measure.
An egg roll latte would be fantastic.
Yeah, but
A little spicy mustard on top.
Let's see, what are we in the mood for? Gee, you want something depressing or? Let's see, that's the choices, something depressing or something a little less
Not
depressing.
so depressing.
Okay, woo, that sounded depressing. I can't stand when people say, this is a song about a dog that I ran over with the car, blah, blah, blah. But this is another true song about something. It's a real New York story. Woohoo! When I knew I had a second chance to be with you. I screwed it up at the last time. I let it just continue. And now it's all my fault. Baby, those days over, and I still believe that someday you'll forgive me. You could tell for me. Downtown friends say that I'm a snob, just from out of town. That is pretty hard. They just don't have a soul and move to the East Village. You have a
Cheri Dahl performing live for you right here on the Tony Jones Show. We're going to spin a few more tracks, so we're going to come back and, well, unfortunately, we're going to have to wrap it up fairly shortly. Just because I can, a little Patsy Cline right here on the Tony Jones Show. Got a lot of rhythm in my soul, the name of that track. Before that, we heard some yeah, yeah, yeahs, some older yeah, yeah, yeahs. Off of Master, we heard Art Star, and they got a new one out. It's either out or it's coming out. We haven't got it here yet at the station, but
And
I'm
by the
looking
way,
forward to that.
the Yeah Yeah Yeahs and the Patsy Cline, it's a musical juxtaposition that will only be heard on the Tony Jones Show.
That is for sure. There's nobody else doing that, and well, I am proud of that very fact. We do have George Garner, my co-host, Cheri Dahl in studio. Unfortunately, looking at the clock, the bewitching hour is upon us. I do have two wrap-up questions.
Sure.
The important wrap-up question is, how do people get a hold of you? How do people book you and all of that? And the reason I've been asking this other question is because the answers have varied, is that what advice would you tender to a younger band coming up today? Some kids in college, they're going to start a band, maybe solo acoustic, what would you say? Because we had some...
There is a full spectrum of possible responses.
I could have done an hour show just on that.
Oh man, that's
Well, and at our very gig last night, there were some younger ladies who really enjoyed your voice, your music, and
I appreciate that.
they loved you. And
Well,
I was just thinking,
appreciate it, really,
if they could take a knee and you could say to them, this is what you should do, but
I can't tell anyone what to do. I've only done what I wanted to do, and a lot of people, when they, first of all, here's the thing. I started studying music when I was 7 years old. I'm not a great piano player, but I can read music. I studied voice, I studied singing jazz, I studied a little classical music. By the time I was 14, I always knew I wanted to have a rock band, sing in rock bands, But I made sure that I learned how to sing properly before I ventured out in the world and found my style, my thing. A lot of people have this thing in their mind where they think that you know, you can get a Guitar Hero or, you know, go on American Idol and you're this great singer. Well, you know, maybe you'll win and maybe you're going to be real famous and everything. Does that make you a real musician? Does it make you a real singer? I tend to side with Harry Connick and say definitely not. I think that it helped me a lot to, even 15 years ago, like I said, I finally picked up a guitar. But I was ahead of the game because I already knew how to read music and I already had an understanding of it. So I feel like this: if you are so compelled to play music, play it because you really have to. Have a band because it's all you want to do or you'll die, and expect nothing. But that's not negative. And do what you want to do. And I say again, and play the kind of music with conviction that you want to be playing. And if you don't do that, and you just want to be famous, that's a whole other story, and that's something I cannot give advice about or relate to in the least. So that's my answer.
And
it has to be about loving what you do. If you're an artist, you're an artist, and that's that. And you know.
Truer words have never been spoken. And I think that is kind of a little bit of advice that I give to the young folk, but
The only thing I would add to that is keep a sense of humor.
yeah.
Well, that
said.
you of course. I mean, I would hope people would have a sense of humor.
Well, I would hope so too, but it's not a given, believe me.
No, you know, you're right. It isn't a given, but I guess for me, I feel like, well, gee, if you're going to be in show business, it should be a given. I mean, it's
Should
show
be, yes.
business, and you know.
So how does everybody out there get a hold of you?
How does everybody out there cannot get a hold of me?
Well,
Because I don't want
how about
everybody
this?
out there to
Everybody
get a
out
hold
there
of
who
me.
wants to buy your music.
Okay,
How do
if
they get a hold of
anybody
you?
who knows you wants to get a hold of me, they can contact you and then you can let me know. I don't think that's going to be thousands of people, but if it is, we'll work something out, Tony. And as far as anything else, you can try and contact me on Facebook. The best thing to do is to go on YouTube, put my name in, Cheri Dahl, CHERIDAHL. Put in Cheri Dahl and you will see at least 2 to 6 videos come up, and you look at those and you can leave me a message. I look at it, and if I think your message doesn't suck, then I might say thanks, or I might say nothing because I don't have time. Or if you leave me a message on there and say, I have a gig for you, and leave your email address, then I'll know that you know, you have nothing to hide because you're leaving it publicly, and I would probably get back to you. But a lot of things are so weird and convoluted that I'm pretty guarded about being gotten in touch with. Of course I want to play, but I feel like if somebody really cares that much and really wants to hire me, they'll figure it out.
And that could be the test.
Exactly,
Whether
that
it's
is the
legit or
test.
not,
That's
right?
You got it.
Cheri, thank you. It was fantastic.
Thank you.
George,
I had a
thank
nice
you.
time.
As always.
Don't forget to tune in next time, and don't forget to check out facebook.com/TonyJonesShow, TonyJones.org. I'm going to leave you all with a little bit of a band who will be in this very studio in just a few weeks' time. They're returning to the studio, George. They were in this very studio. Now they'll be back, and there's like they're switching up their sound a little. So I think we're going to be in for a treat. It's going to be cool. This is the Volcano Kings, and this track is called The Power Station. Until next time, my friends, bye everybody.
Bye.